Well, hey everyone, and welcome to a lovely video on finding sums on a number line. Today we're going to be talking about that process. Remember, sums, key vocabulary word, that just really means the answer to an addition problem. So we're going to be adding numbers on a number line, and we're going to do that today by first, we're going to create our number line, right? So like make a number line. And then we're going to be thinking about what we talked about in the past with hops, which is +1, and jumps, which is +10, and how that's going to get us to where we're going. Okay, so let's kind of dive into that, thinking about these two steps today. So we're going to draw the number line, and then we're going to make hops and jumps to help us find our sum or our answer. So for example, let's just say someone came along and said we needed to find the answer to 37 plus 23. Well, let's explore that using our number line. So here we go. Next page. So we were talking about 37 plus 23. Sorry, I already forgot. 37 plus 23. And here are our steps. So step one, right? We're going to make that number line. So one thing I always want to recommend is make a number line so it goes across your entire page. Like give it space, right? Because there's a lot of work we're going to do on that. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our first number, 37, which is where we started, right? And that's how it always is. We always read left to right with a number sentence in math. It's always left to right. So it's 37 is what we have. And then we're adding 23 more. So now we're thinking about that idea of hops and jumps. Now remember, the idea on a number line, if I'm taking a hop, I'm just doing a little +1, right? A tiny little hop. If I'm doing some jumps, I'm doing a +10. I'm adding on 10. Okay, so if we think about what's going to happen here is I need to add 23 more. So I really want to think about that in terms of my hops and my jumps. Since hops are +1, that really does refer to the ones place, which means really I have 3 hops that I need to make. And there's a 2 in the tens place, which means I'm making 2 jumps, right? Because that 2 in the tens place really equals 20. And there's 2 of them, so 10, 20, okay? So keeping that in mind, let's go ahead and do that work. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my jumps in this case because they're just bigger and it will get me to where I need to go quicker. So I need to do 2 jumps of +10. So I have a couple ways I could do this. I could draw my 2 jumps first. Right? So this would be a +10 because that's a jump. That's a +10. That's a jump. And I could think about now labeling where that put me. So if I had 37 and I added 10, remember when we add 10 more to a number, the ones place doesn't change. And it's 10 more in the tens, or excuse me, well, yeah, 10 more, or 1 more technically, if you want to think about it that way. It's going to mean 47. And then if I do my next jump, same thing. Ones place doesn't change because I'm just adding 10. That's the cool trick about adding 10, because if we look at the number 10, there is a 0 in the ones place. That's going to get me to 57. Okay. And now I know I need to do 3 hops. So again, I could label, or I could draw that first. I could just say 1, 2, 3. It's +1, +1, +1. So that would mean I would hop to 58. Then I would hop to 59. And then I would get to 60. And that would be my final answer. So when we take 37 and we add 23, 37 plus 23, we get 60. Okay, so that's our process today, right? Make that number line and then things hops and jumps, and really break down your second number to know how many hops and jumps that you're doing, right? First number is your starting point. Second number is the hops and the jumps. So we're not done. I mean, let's do another one. I'm going to take 52 and let's add 37. Now, if you're already feeling comfortable, pause this video now and try to solve this problem and then come back and see what we did, right? So welcome back. Thanks for pausing and seeing what you did. So here we go. Step 1, right? Number line. Okay. First number is our starting point. Now our second number is our hops and our jumps because it's what we're adding in. So again, this would be a 30 plus a 7. So if I thought about that in hops and jumps, hops, remember, plus 1. I guess I didn't need to label that with a 1. And jumps plus 10. Right, okay. So if we think about that, if I'm in my ones place here, I'm gonna have to do 7 jumps, or excuse me, 7 hops. Sorry, that's what I get for like letting my email pop up while I'm trying to like do a video. Got distracted, sorry. Okay, so 7 hops. And then this is 30. So again, a jump is in 10. So really that just means I need 3 jumps, right? 10, 20, 30. That's 3 jumps. Okay, so now let's think about it. Again, I like starting with my jumps, honestly. It's a good way for me to just add 10 and all I'm changing is the tens place. And I need to do 3 of them. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. So if I think about where that puts me, that's gonna be 62, because again, I'm just adding 10. Then 72, because I'm just adding 10. And then 82. So there's my 3 jumps of 10, okay? Now I'm gonna do my 7 hops. Now this one can be a little tricky, right? Because this is a lot of ones, so I really have to keep track of that. So I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Well, each one of these is plus 1, so I'm gonna just count them instead of label them because it's gonna be hard to squeeze all my numbers in. So if this is 82, this is gonna be, let's see, let's change the color. So 82, so this would be 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, and 89 is where I end, and that would be my answer. 52 plus 37 is 89. Okay, so again, here we are. This is that great process of how we can find our way into using addition and finding the sum, the answer to an addition problem, on a number line. Let's do another one. Did I just do a 50? I think I did. Okay, so let's say 65, and let's add, should we get crazy? Let's get crazy. Let's do a bigger one. Let's do 41, okay? All right, step 1. Number line. All right, starting at 65. It's our starting point. Now the second number is our hops and our jumps. So there's a 1 in the ones place. So that's 1 hop. Keep labeling that wrong. I don't know why. So that's 1 hop. And then here we have 4 in the tens place. So really this is a 40, right? 4 tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, which means I'm really just doing 4 jumps because each one is worth 10, right? So here we go. Again, I will probably just go with the tens first. So I'll go 10, 20, 30, 40. And I can label that again. So this is 75. Again, my ones place isn't changing. I'm just adding 10. So it's really just the change in the tens place. 95. Ooh, this is tricky. 105. Look at that. I had to go into the hundreds for this one. And then we got 1 hop. Boop. And I suppose I should be labeling. That would probably be wise of me so I can keep track of what I'm doing. And if I add just 1 more, that gets me 106. And that's my answer. When I take 65 plus 41, I get 106. Okay, so here we go. Let's just like do one. I'm going to put a couple more out there, give you an opportunity to think about it. I again pause the video, try out these problems, and then we'll come back and kind of work together on it. So first, think of those steps, right? So make your number line. Remember, the first number is where you start, and the second number is then your hops, which is plus 1, and your jumps, which is plus 10. Okay, so we think about that process. And let's go ahead and do 38 plus, I feel like we haven't done one, the next number larger. Let's say 50. 1. Okay, so let's try that one. Call that problem A. And then problem B, let's get crazy. Let's say 152. Remember, that's just where you start, so really. And let's add 36. Okay, so go ahead and pause here, try these out, see what you can do, and then we're going to explore them together where you can double check your notes. So welcome back. You've now unpaused the video and you now have an answer for 38 plus 51 and 152 plus 36, and you solve those both on a number line. Let's do these ones together. So I'm going to start with 38 plus 51. I'm going to go back to my first steps, right? That first step is the number line. So we're going to make that number line. Again, taking up the entire paper, it really does give you space to breathe and work. Here's our starting point, 38. Second number is my hops and my jumps. So that's the second thing we want to think about. So hops, again, that's +1, and jumps, again, that's +10. Okay, and let's break that number apart. So I have 1 hop because I have 1 in the ones place, and I have 5 tens, so that's 50. So that would actually be 5 jumps, right? Because 5 groups of 10 would be 50, 5 times 10. That's a lot like the frog hop game that we've played. So there's a connection right there. All right, so let's make our 5 jumps. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, I really would recommend you label, space your number lines out well, you know, all that work. It really helps you think about and organize your work. Now, as I add 10 to each number, remember the ones place does not change. It's only in the tens place. So this is going to be 48. This is going to be 58. It's going to be 68. Oh, 8. And this is going to be 78. So 10, 20, 30, 40. And we got to do one more. That's 88. Okay. And now I've got one little hop here, which gets me to 89. And there we have it. 38 plus 51 is 89. Okay. So there's the first one. Let's do our second one. So we took 152 and we were adding 36. Okay, same old steps, right? Step 1, number line. Remember, even though this is a big number, it's just our starting point. So we'll just have to start there and then think about how we would count tens. And maybe that part does get a little tricky. So let's see what happens. Second number is my hops and my jumps. So I have 6 hops, right? Because there's a 6 in the ones place. And this is 30. So that would be 3 groups of 10. So I would need 3 jumps. Okay, so I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. Those are my jumps of 10. Now this is, I guess, the one place where it gets a little tricky. I'm only changing the tens place. Like I said, with all the other ones, the ones place won't change. And in this case, the hundreds won't change either because I'm not adding 100, right? So this is gonna be 162, right? And this would be 172, right? Do you see again where we're just adding 10 to the tens place, and then this is going to give me 182. So the hundreds and the ones did not change. The tens did because I'm only adding tens. That's the cool thing about adding tens. Okay, now we're going to do 6 hops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is +1 for each one. So 182, and you know, counting it, like it's good to be able to like label, but I notice I don't have a lot of space, so I'm gonna count. So 182, 183, 184, 185, I'll probably label that since I have space. 186, 187, 188. And there we have it, 188. So I hope this works. I hope you enjoyed it. Continue to practice. We appreciate all your hard work and everything you've done, and keep it up.